episode is sponsored by Wisteria Lane. Have you ever been to Wisteria Lane, Julie?
No, but why does that sound so familiar?
Oh my God.
Oh no.
I know you are not a gay man that was born between 1985 and 1993.
You you're right.
Did you ever watch Desperate Housewives?
Oh no.
They lived on Wisteria Lane.
Okay, and now I know. I'm so
Well,
sorry.
I'm just saying something we should all know, by the way.
Right. Right.
Wisteria Lane, I bring up Wisteria Lane because I am a child of Wisteria Lane,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't wait to tell you why. But first,
Okay.
Julie, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to You, Me, and Chisme, your number one source for Chisme on the internet. Adrian and Julie here. Yeah, living, laughing, loving, you know?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. My parents, um, my parents, my parents had four children.
Okay.
I have an older
Okay.
sister and an older,
Congratulations.
I have an older sister and an older brother. My
Okay.
sister's 10 years older, my brother's 8 years older. And then they had me, and then they're like, we got to give this one a friend. And then they quickly pushed out my little sister.
Okay.
Um, my parents, my little sister and I, we bought a house in 2023, I believe.
Mm.
And in the neighborhood that they moved to, there is a section of the neighborhood that reminds me so much of Wisteria Lane
Mm.
that every time I drive by it, I'm like, Wisteria Lane. Um, but you know that you can go drive through Wisteria Lane at Universal Studios, Hollywood. If you get
Oh.
on the tram, they drive you through Wisteria Lane. Anyways, none of that has to do with why I'm actually talking about Wisteria Lane. Let me tell you why. I'm a
Okay.
child of Wisteria Lane because I am up in everybody's business in this apartment building. And one of these days, one of these crazy people is going to knock on my door.
Yeah. Is there updates?
Let me tell you what happened the other day. This is a wild story, by the way.
I've never been happier that you moved.
I've maybe hyped it up too much, but you're going to be shocked at the first part of this story. I just want you
Okay.
to know that I'm alive and I'm okay. And it actually has
Okay.
nothing to do with a neighbor. Okay, I came home from work the other day and I was like, I need to go to the store because I need toilet paper and whatever other random things I need from the store. I was
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I need toilet paper. I need some of my pop drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Those what do you call them? Words are escaping me, but you know what I mean. The ones that are good for your health, your gut. Um,
Probiotics?
probiotic sodas, as they like to,
Uh-huh.
brand themselves. What else did I buy? I think I bought some strawberries,
Okay.
and I forget what else I was gonna buy. What I
I
need.
love that you always paint a picture.
Thank you so much. If
Yeah,
I am not, and if I'm not an artist, I don't know what I am.
absolutely.
Yes, thank you. And I also needed to get rice because I was going to cook rice for dinner. So I'm walking back. I walked to the store, by the way.
Okay.
I came home from work. I put on a sweatshirt. I changed my shoes and I walked to work, or I walked to the store. I'm
Mm-hmm.
walking back from the store. I took my own bags, by the way, walking in my
Okay.
cute little Daiso blue bag.
Ooh.
Have you ever been to Daiso, Julie?
Mm-hmm.
Love Daiso. I have a Daiso right here. Anyways, I came back. I'm walking back to my apartment from the store, and this man is walking in the opposite direction of me, and
Okay.
he smiles at me, but in a like in that kind of smile kind of way, in like
Mm-hmm.
a I want to eat you kind of way. I
Okay.
smile back because I'm nice. Whatever. He's going in the opposite direction. I turn around and I realize that this man has turned around and is now behind me. And I'm like, okay, okay. We keep walking and I get to
Mm-hmm.
a stoplight where I'm about to cross the street and I had gotten there right as the light turned red, so I'm waiting there. So I turn around and I'm like, hello. He's on the phone. So then he doesn't, so he's like, 1 minute. I'm like,
God.
I'm like, okay. So then, so
You're like,
then,
okay, I'll walk into traffic. Cool.
so then I'm just like, okay, whatever. I have my little my earphones in. I'm like listening to music. I keep walking, but I notice that he follows me across the street. And then when I turn, he follows me again. And then when I turn again, he's still following me. So a little bit before I get to my apartment, I'm like, okay, can I help you? And he's like, yeah, what's up? And I'm like, I don't know, you tell me what can I do for you? I obviously knew like what he was doing. I also want to make this very clear. I was in no way did I ever feel in danger or threatened.
Okay.
At one point I just wanted to make sure he didn't have a weapon, but I was quickly realized he didn't have a weapon, and he was
Other
shorter.
than his pants?
Well, sure, he was shorter than me by a little bit, and he was very scrawny. And I knew that if push came to shove, I could sit on this man and break him in half. Okay. So I wasn't too worried for my safety, but I was like, okay, okay. I'm like, what are
Yeah.
you like? What are you doing? You're just walking around the streets looking for somebody to fuck? He's like, well, and I'm like, okay, well, I that's not gonna be me, but thank you. And I was like, what do you do? What do you where do you work? What do you do? Because let me tell you something
Uh-huh.
about a man. A man hates to see me coming because I will be asking questions. I
Yeah.
anytime I hook up with someone, I know that they're highly annoyed at how many questions I am asking. I
Mm-hmm.
want to know everything. So I was like, not that I hooked up with this man, but
Hmm. Oh,
it's just me. I'm gonna
okay.
ask questions. So I was like, what do you do? He's like, I'm a chef at an Italian kitchen. There was an accent, and also I don't know if he was on drugs. I don't think he was, but there was I had to ask him to repeat himself a couple times. And he said that he works at an Italian restaurant. He's a chef. And then I asked him where he lived. He's like somewhere around here. I'm like, okay. Um, he had nice like Nike shoes on, tight jeans. The man looked like he was in 2011. A sweatshirt hoodie and like a big hat. And I wish I remembered what the design on the hat was. He had a lot of gold rings on his hands. He's
Oh
like,
my,
sorry, I was on the phone earlier.
oh my God.
Anyways, um, I told him I wasn't gonna fuck, so he was like, okay, I'll move on. But so then I went back into my apartment. Never saw the man again, by the way. I
That's the end of
went.
the story?
That's the end of that story. I came back to my apartment and I realized I forgot to buy the fucking rice.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's
So
sad.
then, so then I'm like, I need to go buy rice. Like, I already decided what I was gonna make for dinner, and I need rice. So
Right.
I go to a grocery store that's a little bit closer up the corner from my place. As I'm walking out of my apartment, I run into the woman who has just moved across the way from
Mm,
me.
hmm. We remember her well.
And I say, hi. And I'm speaking in Spanish. She speaks perfectly fine English, but I continue to speak in Spanish. I want her to know I'm, you know,
Yeah.
I'm of the people,
I love
mi
you.
gente latina. And like, you know, and I'm like, hi, my name is Adrian. I don't even remember if she gave me her name. But as soon as I uttered those words, I could tell she wanted nothing to do with me. She said, okay.
No.
Yes. And I was like, oh, like you live here? You just moved in? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, welcome. I said, bienvenida. She said, okay, yeah, thank you. And she, I put out my hand to shake it. She did not want to shake it. She literally was like, I don't want to talk to you. She did
And
say
you
thank
said, but
you.
you will.
She did say thank you, but it was very clear in her body language and in her tone that she did not want to do she didn't want to talk to me. Doesn't
Right.
want to get to know me, doesn't want anything. By the way, I don't need to know her either. I just wanted to be like,
Right.
this is the person who lives across the way from you, literally
Hmm.
2 feet away from you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would like to know who the fuck you are.
Right.
Okay. But now I'm convinced that there's something shady going on in there and they don't want me to figure it out. And I know that she can smell it on me. She knows we found fucking Inspector Gadget over here. We found
Harriet the
Harriet the
Spy.
Spy. Like, she is worried. I know that
Yeah.
she went in there and she told whoever else lives in there because I have not seen them. And honestly, I don't know if they come outside. I'm not kidding. I know she said our time our time is limited here. Pack your bags. He's on to us. Um and so and I just want everybody to know
Mm.
that is the situation.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something, I know the way she talks to these Uber drivers who drop her off. Friendliest fucking lady in the world, okay?
Yeah.
But when it came to me, she said, "No, thank you."
No, thank you.
And listen,
We're listening.
these people here do not like me. And I'm going to be honest with you. I mind my own fucking business, okay? I
We see
do.
that.
I do. I'm just trying I just want people to know this is me. I live here. If anybody ever sees my windows busted, like try to catch the robbers or something.
Right.
Anyways, I walked to go get the rice.
Okay.
Okay?
You brought it home.
I brought it home. They didn't have the rice I wanted, but I bought a different rice. Totally fine.
Okay. Wow.
Um, and then I put the rice in the rice cooker. I jumped in the shower while the rice was being made, and then I made my protein and my vegetables. And I ate it peacefully, by the way, peacefully after being accosted twice, once by the strange man outside, and then by the mean lady who lives across from me.
Were you accosted or were you accosting?
No, no, I kept my distance and I said hello, and then she's the one who came with attitude.
Okay. Okay.
But I will
Okay.
not be offering her any sugar
No.
should she
No.
need it.
Oh, no. That'll show her for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that
I
was
don't know
my.
about you, but I guarantee you everyone is ecstatic that you moved. They're so happy. Everyone is so happy that you moved.
Yeah, either that or they're worried for my safety.
Why not
One or the
both?
other. Why not both?
Why not both?
Why not both? That is
Yeah.
the first time a man has stopped me on the street and followed me. I walk. I like to walk. So if I can walk, I'm going to walk. Never
Yeah.
has a man looked at me like that. He looked at me like he wanted to eat me.
Mm.
I'm not kidding.
And I
Um,
bet he did wanna.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure
I
he
did
did.
bet he did
I'm
wanna.
sure he did. Um, but I had just spent an entire day at work
Yeah. You
eating
were hungry.
eating all kinds of things. I was not about to let this man come inside
No.
and fuck me.
Mm.
Yeah. Also, like he was small and scrawny and like,
Okay, so I was gonna say, if he was harder, would you have?
oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. If
Spread
you
the
want to talk
word.
about painting a picture, I'll paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, now we
If you know,
know.
you know. If you got it, you got it. Okay. Anyways, that was my Tuesday.
I loved it.
Thank you.
Riveting,
Thank
riveting.
you. Okay, what's going on
Wow.
with you?
Nothing much. None of that. I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been here working,
Uh-huh.
coming home, working
Uh,
again.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah.
Okay,
I
great.
was on my period this week, so
Okay. That's okay.
we had some lows that were
Uh-huh.
low. They were
Uh-huh.
low. And we
Uh-huh.
had some highs that were extremely high. It's been a whiplash of emotions.
I have had a whiplash of emotions this week as well.
Okay.
I started the week off a little kind of more emotional than usual.
Oh, okay. Me about the same, but also worse a little bit.
I've kind of weaned off from it, and now I don't know if I should bring it up to my therapist or not, because now I think I might sound crazy. But
Okay.
anyways, I don't know what it was. I mean, it could be a couple things, but like,
Right, right, right.
I don't know. I was crying when I'm like, I don't usually cry. I mean, I'm a crier,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
was
yeah.
crying more than usual. But it wasn't,
Interesting.
you know what I told my therapist not too long ago? I was like, I finally understand how actors can cry on command.
Okay.
They think about something sad or
Yeah.
something that affects them. I wasn't able to
Yeah.
10 years ago, I wasn't able to do that. I'm not even kidding.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's awesome that you're more in touch with your emotions now,
I am an incredibly sensitive and emotional person.
and I love you for it.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
really am. A lot of things make me cry, and I am in my emotional sensitive era.
I love that.
Yeah.
I also cried a lot this week.
I don't know
Mine
what
were
happened.
happy tears.
Oh.
Who is she? I cried 3 times in one day at work
Oh. Well,
over
okay.
joyful feelings.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, it
Good.
was very
I wouldn't say
nice.
mine were joyful. Mine were more anxious.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. I mean, truly.
What a time to be
What a
alive.
time to be alive.
Yeah, that is crazy. You know what I was thinking about today is literally a last year. I kept having these feelings of like, I feel like I shared them here of like, I don't know who I am anymore. I thought I was this version of myself and I don't see that anymore and I don't know who I am. And like, I literally feel so myself now. It's super crazy. I got a card at work and it shocked me how many times people wrote things like, thanks for bringing joy into the office. I love your positive energy. Thanks for doing all the fun events. Like, so much about positivity and like just my existence being positive. And if we recall, last year, I would have never been like, yeah, I'm a positive person, or yeah, I'm a happy person, or, I bring joy anywhere. I didn't feel like I brought joy anywhere. Um, sorry, but I feel so overwhelmed. Like, even today, I was like sitting there and like reliving the day before, and I was like, I'm like so overwhelmed with positive feelings. I don't even know what to do with myself. Like I just feel so it's fuck corporations until the day that I die, but like again, you work with these people 9 hours a day and like you hope that you're building some sort of positive relationship, a minimal or as big as whatever, but like you hope that your fun interactions at work are actually fun for everybody and you're not the only one being like a fucking idiot. And I just feel so overwhelmed
Can
with
I ask you a question?
joy. Oh no. Go for it. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know, you have experienced some breakups in the last couple
Yeah.
years. When you think about the times when you met those people and you became friends with them,
Mm-hmm.
are you a different person now than when you were when you became friends with those people? And I ask this to get to the point of, do you think that the relationships and the friendships that you're making now will be different or could be different because you yourself are a different person?
Thank you, Whoopi. It just made me feel like I was on The View. Oh my God. That was such an eloquent question. I feel yes and yes. I feel like I was very different with those friendships, and I feel like I have learned a lot from them, and I know that I'm actively trying to avoid mistakes that I've made in the past. I don't always get it right, right? Like just because I don't have depression doesn't mean I got suddenly better at texting people back. So I don't always get it perfect, but I try my best. And especially the latest friendship breakup, like I have the frustration of that in my head constantly and trying not to fall under the same patterns with people. I do think that it all happened for a reason.
Mm.
I do think it all happened for a reason.
I think that you're actually probably going through a transformation, and I'd be interested to see what your birth chart has to say, or
Mm.
like what your astrological kind of things that are happening to you right
Mm-hmm.
now might have to say. Because I find that very interesting. I too feel like I'm going through a transformation. I'm in a transformation era, if you will.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And I keep getting a lot of astrology telling me that this is the time where I'm becoming the person that I truly am meant to be,
Mm.
finally, at the age of 36.
Yeah.
And um and so, I don't know. I know we've said this before, but we should have somebody come and read our birth charts.
We
Um
need to look into that. I feel like that would be so fun.
it would be very fun.
Hmm.
I will also, if you don't mind,
Okay.
was thinking about the future a lot this week because well, I constantly am thinking about the future,
Right.
but more so than ever, and kind of like what I want in life, and I desperately cannot wait to be in love. Isn't
I
that
love
exciting?
that.
I have a lot of love in me. I have a lot of energy in me
Yeah.
that I need to release.
Hmm.
And, I think one of the most beautiful things as a human being is to experience things that only you can experience as a human being. And who knows how long we're going to be here. And
Scream it.
so the I'm not saying that the clock is ticking, and I'm also
But
not saying I'm just going to hop into anything.
right. We
Certainly
know
not.
it.
Well,
Not a man down
not
the street.
not the man down the street. No, 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 no.
No. No.
What if that man was the love of my life and I shushed him away? He certainly was not. Um,
Of course he wasn't.
but um, and then you start to think like, what is going to happen in the next couple of years with the world? And then I saw this TikTok on about from 60 Minutes about the bird flu and how if we don't take care of it now, it's going to become a pandemic worse than COVID. And I'm like, I don't want to live alone. And I'm not saying that I'm not trying to I'm not trying to
Hmm.
fill something in my life just to have a body in it, but
Hmm.
it is it's interesting to think about that. Could we get into the situation again? And obviously I think we've learned a lot from experiencing one pandemic. Um, but and I don't feel like I wouldn't be like alone, but there is something that would be kind of like, oh my God, now we have to wait a whole nother fucking how
Hmm.
many years to be
Hmm.
like, is it gonna push back love finding me? I don't know.
Mm.
Anyways, I want to experience every human emotion possible.
I love that.
And I have experienced love, don't get me wrong, but there
Right.
is something about somebody looking into your eyes while they're fucking
Yes.
you,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
You're not wrong. You're
Yeah.
not wrong. Love, ladies and gentlemen. Love.
Love.
Love. You know what that
Love.
made me it makes me think of today during lunch? My friend and I were in having lunch, and a couple of the manager or one of the managers and one of the engineers walked in, and we were chit-chatting about bad relationships, and I was telling them about my dead ex-boyfriend. And he faked his own death. He's not actually dead. And so we were talking about that, and then we asked the manager, who's like an older, like my dad's age, an older guy, and we were like, okay, so and so, tell us your worst, story. And he did tell us like a pretty bad one. And then he's like, and that's why my wife and we've been married for 35 years. And let me tell you, this man changed my perspective on love, on what it is to find a partner in the span of 20 minutes.
Mm,
He started talking about how he was like, have you heard of family origin, which is essentially like the things in your ancestry that make you and have created the human being that you are. And essentially, he's Catholic, but he
mhm,
goes to these seminars, and in one of them, they were like, okay, there's a suitcase in front of you. What things from your family origin are you going to bring into your relationship? And what things are you going to leave out of your relationship? Right? Because everything informs the person that you are, but it's really up to you if you're going to continue
mm,
that kind of existence. And he was talking about how his dad was like super machista and like, you do what I say under my roof and blah, blah, blah. And he says that at a really young age. Before he's been married 35 years. I was like, oh my God, that's like when I was born. I was a baby. And then he was like, thanks. I'm like, well, but he was talking about how um when he was really young, he realized that that kind of household left very little room for women to be respected. And so when he got into his relationship with his wife, he made an active decision, sat down and was like, I need to ensure that this marriage across the board is 50-50. Because
mhm,
when my children grow up, I want them to know that whether we have a daughter or a son, that women have a voice in a household, right? And then he was telling me how he's like, we don't do it often, but the other day I was praying with my wife.
mhm,
He's like, and we were praying, and I literally looked at her and I said, I just feel like we're so close that you know exactly what's in my soul right now.
mm, mm.
Is that not beautiful? And I said, Adolfo. You disgusting, beautiful man. I just felt loving your wife that intensely is so wild to me.
Yeah, I mean, loving a whole nother human being like that is wild to me. And I want to be that crazy person.
So do I. I think we do have to go outside for that. So
Mm,
TBD on my end,
okay.
but it just feels like it is as amazing as everyone says it is.
I mean, of course, why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. Sometimes it looks like a lot to be with one person for forever is crazy. 35 years, imagine. That's
Sure.
wild.
But like, and I don't think that everybody, I think that it's not meant for everybody. I
And
think it was meant for
sometimes
me though.
in the quiet times, I think I'm one of the people it's not meant for.
Really. I think it was
Yeah.
100% meant for me.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And I agree. I do think that it's meant for you.
I just think that working towards there's something beautiful about working towards a relationship with another human being in that kind of way. And it's not that you don't get those things out of other relationships with your family and your friends and blah 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 blah. But like, you know, there's an intimacy that comes with being with a romantic partner
Yeah.
that I find incredibly fascinating. And I have not
Right. Yeah, yeah.
and I've never found it I have never found it as fascinating as I do in my current era of life. I have never in my life been like, I want that
Mm-hmm.
until now.
Guys, if this isn't a commercial for therapy, I don't know what is. I don't know what
Do you
is.
think that's what it is? It could very well be. I
I
do think
think you're discovering things about yourself as you open up to a unbiased human being about your life.
I think therapy has helped me Um, I think therapy has helped me learn a lot about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. That means you have a good therapist.
Yeah.
So I love that for you. I love that
Yeah.
for you. That's not always the case. So I love
Of
that for
course
you.
not. Yeah.
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 How
Anyways,
exciting.
I'm
Love.
I want to make it clear though.
Okay.
I'm not dating anybody and I'm not about to get married. So I just want to.
No, I think we knew that,
Oh,
but
okay.
I
Okay.
think we're aware.
Okay.
But we're all very, very much looking forward to any updates. What, how are you? You're open to it, but are you actively doing anything to seek it out?
My
Hmm.
heart is open.
I don't think that's exactly how it works. They keep telling
Okay.
me that's not it.
Well, I deleted all the apps. It's not gonna. I don't know. I
That's
don't
why
know
I'm
how to
saying
answer that
that
question. I don't know how to
I
answer that question, but I am not also fixated on how it's going to happen.
sure, but
You're telling me I need to go outside?
what I'm saying is you have to actively open yourself to it. Not mindset,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
actively I'm telling you, you have to go outside.
Yeah,
This is
I
what I'm
know.
saying.
Sure.
It sounds like a fun time, but then I realize, oh, I have to go outside.
Yeah. I don't mind being outside. I just the way I go outside also is different.
That's what I'm saying.
No, in the sense that like, when 10 years ago, it's like I don't have a desire to be outside in West Hollywood every Friday.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you doing to actively then open yourself up?
Well, when I come up with a good plan, I will let you know.
Okay, I think you should do a speed dating event.
I'm not going to do speed dating.
I feel like that would be so fun, even if nothing comes from it.
No,
Why?
because I just don't. I've heard, I just don't, I just, that's no. I don't want to do
Okay.
it. That's just not what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't, I've seen people, or I've talked to people who've done it, and I don't know. It just doesn't, I'm not going to do it. I don't
Okay.
think not that
Okay.
it's bad. I just don't have a desire to do that, to be honest with you.
Okay. I want to go on record and say that I accepted the answer with my first okay, but he really felt the need to convince me of it. But okay, not your thing.
Not my thing.
Okay, noted.
And this is a great transition into our fan mail for the week because people are nosy. Anyway,
Okay.
okay. It's
Thanks for
time
your
for a
fan mail, guys.
fan mail. We have fan mail from D this
God.
week. Um, Here we go.
Julie, Adrian, hey. Um, this episode should have been called You, Me, and Funeral Arrangements. Because why? Why are y'all talking about your Adrian? You're gonna live forever, okay? I don't want to hear anything else. Anyway, Julie, I would like an update. I've been waiting about the old man, the 50-year-old man who was playing games with you and never kissed you, but then all of a sudden was trying to kiss you after you found out he had some other girlie. Girl, did you do anything for the plot and not tell us? Please update me. Also, Adrian, of like a couple months ago, you was like, oh, something happened. We manifested too hard. Ooh, I might got a boo or whatever. I don't know. You said something like that. So you haven't updated us on your personal life or your dating life in a while. So what's up with that? Also, Julie, right when the same day that this episode aired was the same day that they dropped the next actors on actors list, and I just really need to hear your thoughts on it. I love when you talk about stuff like that, so I need to know what you thought about that because as soon as I saw the list, I thought of you. I'm like she's gonna have some things to say about this. So I would love to know what your thoughts on that are. That what your thoughts on that are. Also, uh, I know that you've never been to Vegas before, Julie, which is insane. You live like a hop, skip, and a jump from Vegas. And I thought that you and Adrian, since I was talking about concerts, I had this idea that you and Adrian should go to Vegas at some point this summer because Kelly Clarkson is doing shows every weekend starting in July. She's doing them every weekend of July and every weekend of August. So I think y'all should go, and then Adrian, you could take her to get that delicious breakfast buffet. Julie, ain't nothing like a breakfast buffet in Vegas. It's so good. Um, and then y'all could go see Kelly Clarkson, and then y'all can like take videos and pictures and stuff, and I could pretend I was there with y'all because I can't. I literally cannot come there, and I'm so sad about it. And I will leave you with this. Kelly Clarkson is definitely probably my favorite white person to ever live, but definitely my favorite Kelly. Who is each of your favorite famous Kelly? Okay, I love you guys. Bye.
D, you have hit your quota on fan mail.
I love it. I love it.
I'm just kidding, D. Thank you, D. Um, I should have written down some of the questions because I don't remember all of them.
Well, let's start with yours.
Oh, you remember that one? I will say that Julie was already very excited to talk about actors on actors, so she had brought it up for the pop culture pop up list. So we will get to that.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to the pop culture pop up, um, D, your memory is quite incredible because that was quite a couple of weeks. That was a long time ago,
That
and you
was.
remember that. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Um, I did say that Julie and I maybe had manifested too far, and to that I actually asked Julie, "What about you?"
Whoa, how dare you? She didn't ask about me. She did not ask about me.
There was a moment where I did say that we both manifested a little too hard, and you know what? I'm gonna say this actually. Who knows?
Who knows? I want to say, don't quote me because we record episodes, they leave my brain immediately. I want to say that we also said, and look at us, we're gonna look super fucking silly when all this happens.
I think right now we look more silly than not.
Ooh, fucking silly bitch. Two silly bitches telling each other exactly in a room.
Yeah. Welp.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, I guess.
D, we're just trying our best. We're just
Just
trying our best.
trying to
We
live life.
we try to open up.
How about this? I did my taxes. How about that?
I did my taxes too. Look at us.
There we go. Good
And how
for
dare
us.
you, D? How dare you
How
remember
dare
the
you, D?
embarrassing stuff?
How dare you? Stop taking notes while you're watching the episode.
She's like, and on February 27th,
That must have been I think that was an episode in January, by the way.
that was a long, yeah, it was January, February, I feel like.
Seasons change, D.
Yeah.
Seasons change.
And at the end of the day, men.
I could have been talking about anything, by the way. I didn't say I was talking about a man. I could have been talking about a job. I
Guys,
could have been talking about
guys.
money. I could have been talking about having sex. Maybe I
He was
was.
talking about a man. He was talking about a man.
Who tomato. Who knows anymore?
Oh God.
I did think that D was going to ask who our favorite white person was,
Right.
and I got excited. Favorite Kelly, I do. Let me. Do you have I'm assuming yours.
It's Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah.
It's Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna let me Google famous Kellys.
Okay.
Um.
And if you must know, my favorite white person is obviously, and I hate that it is a man at the end of the day, but it is Colin Farrell. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oof. Remember when it was all about Jake Gyllenhaal?
I know,
See,
but look,
seasons change. The
seasons
seasons
change.
change. Also, Julie, you are gonna go see Jake,
Yes, I am.
so maybe you did manifest really hard.
Maybe I did
Good for you.
manifest myself right into Jake Gyllenhaal's arms.
Okay, famous excuse me,
Okay.
Kelly Rowland.
Okay, that's a good one.
What do you mean that's the good one? That is the one.
Okay. Well, let's not get crazy, but that is a good one.
I love Kelly Rowland.
Yeah,
My favorite white person is Rosie O'Donnell. Tied and true.
of
Don't
course it
roll your
is.
eyes.
No, I said of
Oh,
course it
oh,
is.
okay,
Oh
okay.
my God.
I love that bitch. Mm.
I love her too.
And
She's
you want to
great.
talk about sensitive and emotional?
The Barbara Streisand
Wow.
episode.
You watched it. Did you watch it?
I did. You told me to, and I did.
Yeah. She
I
and
watched both.
that is so funny because Rosie just posted on her Instagram about Barbara. I think it was her
Mm,
birthday. Yeah.
mm,
No, let me tell you, you know what I like I love celebrity and I love famous people, but like I don't have Beyonce is probably the closest thing, but I don't have like an overwhelming kind of
right.
attachment to to celebrities. But I just think that it's so beautiful how much Rosie loves Barbara Streisand because
Mm,
it meant so much to her and to her mom. And her mom, Rosie's mom, died when she was really young. And like how much Rosie feels and how much Barbara's music makes her feel is so
mm-hmm,
intense
mm-hmm.
that like it just I think it's just really beautiful.
Right.
Anyways, D, what's going on in your love life?
Yeah, how about that, D? How about you tell us what's going on with you?
Yeah.
Spill the beans.
If any, you know what we should do?
Tell
If
me.
anybody wants to come on here and promote their love life, their singleness, um, we're happy to play something for you. You never know. You clearly it doesn't work for us, but
No.
maybe if you want to say that you're available and single,
Yeah.
maybe you'll get something. So send
Maybe
us
you'll
over your
find
fan
love.
mail. Yeah.
Hmm.
And if you want us to show a picture on our YouTube, we're happy to do that. We can
Yeah.
promote your Instagram, whatever you want it to be.
Lovely.
Excellent. Julie, before we get to the pop culture pop up, is there anything
Okay.
else that you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to share? Anything you want to say?
No. No. Do you do you have any questions for me you need answered?
No,
Okay.
I'm okay.
Then
Thank
uh,
you.
then I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, great. I love that for
Yeah.
you. Well, it's time for the pop culture pop up. First up on the pop culture pop up, this is a fan submitted question.
Yeah, it is.
This is a question submitted by Coach Brian. Coach Brian used to coach me at tennis, and
Love Coach Brian.
love Coach Brian.
Yeah.
And this is what Coach Brian wants to know. He said, "Did you all see the Kiki release? Then quickly scrapped her episode with Jonathan Majors. Curious to hear your take on the new developments."
Did you
Julie,
see?
go ahead.
Hell yeah, I saw. Kiki, I cannot believe you would let a man embarrass you like that. You look like a fool. Look like a fool. Oh, dummy. This press tour that Jonathan Majors is in, or has been doing for the last couple of weeks. Embarrassing.
Is he promoting something?
I do think this movie premiered at Sundance right before the scandal. It's called Magazine Dreams, I want to say, and he got raving for sure going to be Oscar nominated reviews from that film. And then the studio was like, we're not going to release it. And then another studio bought it and then they released it. And I think that's what he's promoting right now. Um, Kiki, how embarrassing for you. I saw a clip of the show. I think they somehow, I don't know if it got leaked or it had been posted or something of what the podcast was going to be. And they're playing this like this or that game. And it made me like nauseous a little bit.
I saw
Just
that.
a man trying to be cute, clean up his image, and Kiki is playing right along with it.
I saw that clip too. It
Yeah.
was a little hard to watch.
Yeah.
This is what I took away from it.
Tell me.
I asked myself, why does he sound like that? And I'm like, have I ever heard this man speak? Because I did not expect that voice to come out of him.
Mm.
And then I thought, is this man gay? Is he suppressed and like upset and depressed and now he's violent? That's what I took from it.
Interesting. Interesting. I find it unfortunate, the whole situation. I feel like Kiki has built this persona that is blindly beloved, and a abusive man destroyed that in a matter of a day.
Yeah.
Do I
And
think she's still beloved? Of course she is. I think she has enough good grace,
well, and
but
clearly she realized she did something wrong because the episode didn't actually like
yeah.
I don't I guess she released it for a little bit and that's where people took the clip. I don't know. The clip was embarrassing because she was all up in his business, like laughing, being like, and it was very clear what they were trying to do. She was trying to
Yeah.
help him repair his image. And I don't
Hmm.
know if maybe she's really good friends with um, Megan Good or what the situation
Hmm.
is, but it was not cute.
No, it was not cute.
It was not cute.
It's embarrassing.
Again, any man that tries to stage him breaking up a fight between high schoolers is embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing. And Megan Good, I'm embarrassed for you, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm embarrassed for you.
Agreed.
Anyways, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Coach Brian.
Thank you.
Next up on the Pop Culture Pop Up, we heard this question come from D, but Variety has released a new version of Actors on Actors focused on Broadway actors on actors. Um, um, I can't. George Clooney is talking
Okay.
to
Patty
uh,
LaPone.
Patty LaPone. Audra McDonald's talking to Jake Gyllenhaal, and
Yeah, she
Nicole
is.
Scherzinger is talking to
Jonathan Groff.
Jonathan Groff. Who else?
Sarah Snook is talking to Kieran Culkin, and Cole Escola is talking to Darren Chris.
Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
I feel like they could have paired Cole Escola with somebody who had a little bit more personality, but
Oh, interesting.
it's just me. Okay,
Interesting.
tell us what you think, Julie.
Initial thoughts. I saw this. I shrieked.
Yeah,
I shrieked into the void. I said, Audra, Jake.
yeah.
That's the threesome of my dreams. I was so ecstatic.
Hmm.
Then I sat with the list a little bit. And then Sarah Snook and Kieran Culkin, a wonderful reunion from Succession. I think that's also great. Patty LuPone and George Clooney had a wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed it. And the rest haven't come out yet. And I feel some type of way about Nicole Scherzinger, but I don't know why. I don't remember why I don't like her.
Is it because she like there was that whole thing about her commenting on a football player's MAGA hat
There it
or
is.
something,
There it is. There it
or
is.
like
I
a
knew
red
there was
hat or
something.
something?
I
Well,
knew it was something.
did you see Patty LuPone talking about when she went to go see Sunset Boulevard, which is where Nicole Scherzinger, the musical Nicole Scherzinger is on?
No.
Okay, well, there was the whole thing where there was this incident where Nicole Scherzinger commented on this football player's red hat or something, and I think it said Jesus, but the hat made had implications of being MAGA. And Patty LaPone, if you are uneducated,
Mm-hmm.
is the leftist, most staunch anti-Trump person you could ever
Mm-hmm.
find. And
Mm-hmm.
she will speak her mind. And people were talking about like, oh, Nicole's a Republican, Nicole's a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
And then Patty also was like, and I think Patty also did a version of Sunset Boulevard at one point or something. I'm not quite
Mm.
sure. But she was like, I'm not gonna, it was like anti Nicole. And then all of a sudden there she was at Sunset Boulevard. And she loved it. She loved it.
Okay.
I could listen to Patty LuPone talk about anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's great.
You know what I think a lot about?
Tell me.
Who's gonna win the Tony? Is it gonna be Nicole Scherzinger or is it gonna be Audra McDonald? And I don't even watch Broadway like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if they're gonna be nominated in the same category
I feel like they would be. No. No, I feel like they would be. I don't know.
because they have like revivals and then they have
Yeah, yeah,
originals and
yeah.
all that shit. Anyways, I'm very curious to see because when Nicole came onto the scene in this musical, she won the London's version of the Tony,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, well, Nicole's gonna win it in America, but
Mm-hmm.
will she?
Will she?
Only time will tell. I
Only
think
time will
I think the
tell.
Tonys are on in June.
Can't wait.
Are you are you excited to watch? I don't even know what the play is that Denzel and
Othello?
Othello.
I'm very excited to watch Othello. I did want to go back really quickly to the list and say that yeah, there was excitement in my heart, but then after reviewing it a little bit, I realized in a year where there are not one, but two extremely Latino shows on Broadway, zero, zero Latino in the variety actors on actors list. Zero. And there's two shows that has lead performances from Latinos. There's one show that has all women leads, all Latinas leading the cast. And there is another one that also has Latinidad spewing out of it. And none of the those performances were thought of when pairing actors on actors.
Do you mind if I go get my soapbox? Um,
Yeah.
I've been I've been wanting to speak to the to I've been wanting to speak about this for a while now.
Okay. Okay.
Longtime listeners will know
He's about to do it.
how I feel about variety.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I had this thought the other day and I was like, what was my original beef with variety? I don't even
It was
remember.
that they had too many ads on their website in order to
Right.
get to one article.
Right. Oh, which tells me everything I need to know about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Recently, recently there's been rumblings about the articles that Variety is writing.
Racist.
Racist. One was about is it oh my god, I can't remember her name. Is it Rachel? No. Is it Rachel Ziegler?
Ziegler. Hmm.
Yes. And about how very clear that they were trying to put the blame on Rachel for the debacle of Snow White, as opposed to Gal Gadot, who is a genocidal maniac.
Yeah.
And then they were writing about Sinners and how Sinners didn't they basically were trying to discredit how the success that they had at the box office,
Hmm.
saying
Hmm.
they did well and they came out number one, but they're still
However,
however they're still not close to making a profit, even though other films like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood actually made less opening weekend, had around the same budget, and
it was a
all
success.
it was
Uh,
all they could say was it was a
yeah.
success. I wholeheartedly believe with my full heart and my full whole that variety is being used and allowing themselves to be used as a way to tell a specific story in Hollywood.
I believe it.
And and I think it's nasty. I don't trust anybody who works at Variety, especially that man that they parade at those red carpets. I don't
Mm,
like him, Mark
I don't like his
McMillan or whatever
voice.
he
I
is.
don't like his
I
voice.
don't like him one bit.
I've never heard him ask a good question. I'll
Talk
be
of,
honest.
talk about white people who you don't like. He's at the top of the list for
Yeah.
me. I
Yeah.
don't like him. I think he's nasty, and
Agreed.
I don't think he's very good at his job.
No.
And if that is the kind of person that's working at Variety, I can only imagine the type of people who work behind the little screen typing up these horrible articles. And by the way, their
Agreed.
website still fucking sucks. Okay? It
Yeah.
still fucking sucks.
Absolutely.
And, those people eventually will burn in hell. So, uh, good for them, I guess.
Absolutely.
Anything else you would like to say about Hollywood Actors on Actors Broadway edition?
It is great. I love an
Hmm.
interview and I love when artists talk about shit that they love and that they're doing and how they get there. And Audra McDonald is a revelation in everything that she does. And I just love hearing her discuss how she gets into character, how this story fell into her lap. Like I just love her so much. And you know how I feel about Jake. So I love it.
I
It
love
was
Audra
good.
McDonald. I love Audra
I
McDonald.
think she's amazing.
Ugh, I'm
Yeah.
obsessed. Um, okay, wonderful. Finally on the pop culture pop up. Also, the submission came from D. Not in a voice, but in a text. And D sent us over a blind item. I think it was a blind item. I'm not really sure where you got it from, D. But basically, it was saying that they're looking at a Latina actress to play the lead role in the Bodyguard. Last week we talked about how Tyra Banks said it could be Taylor Swift. Barf. Um,
Tyra.
this week D is saying it better not be Selena Gomez. Julie, do you
And
agree?
I
Do you
fuck
disagree?
I fucking agree. Absolutely better not be. Oh my God. Oh my God. I would be so angry. You know, someone, I posted about the Taylor Swift Idris Elba theory on our TikTok, and someone wrote a comment and was like, what if we had a male performer and a female bodyguard, and the female bodyguard could be Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones? And I said, I love your brain.
Yeah,
Why
interesting.
why aren't we considering that? I'd watch
Yeah,
that.
I would watch that too.
Fuck a remake. I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Selena, is she gonna get acting lessons before and singing lessons as well? I don't like Selena Gomez. I feel bad because sometimes she does things or like the world does things to her that then I feel bad for all the shit that I talk about her. And if she's ever on this podcast, you know I've been her number one fan for years. So, and I stand by it and I support
Uh-huh.
her.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I feel like if it's gonna be essentially the same energy of female pop star or vocalist or musician and a male bodyguard, that's a little boring. Change it up a
Yeah,
bit.
change it up. And also
Yeah.
don't also we don't want a Gen Zer in there either. Like we don't want I don't I don't want text bubbles popping up in the movie about how they're texting each other
Ugh.
flirtatious text messages. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
And if we do a reverse casting and we do get a female bodyguard and a male pop star, I want to be very clear that still means that I would like to see the scene where she's being carried. I'd still want to see it.
Yeah.
I want him carried.
Yeah.
I want his head in her crook of her neck.
Yeah.
I want it. I want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, the movie doesn't need to be made because guess what? The movie was already made and it was perfectly fine.
Some may
Actually,
say exceptional.
it was more than fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just don't need it.
No.
We do not fucking need it.
And on top of that, we don't want it.
We don't want it.
We don't want it.
We don't want it. Come up with a new idea.
Have we tried a new idea?
Make us want to go to the movies.
If Sinners did anything for anyone, it's confirmed that we want original, fresh ideas.
It's so kind of fucking topsy-turvy backwards.
Yeah, I
Why does
agree.
everything have to have an IP?
It's so crazy.
And then like, well, that's where people go to the movies because that's the only thing you're shoving down our fucking throats.
Speak it.
Have you seen the studio on Apple TV Plus?
No, 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 I haven't.
They I'm probably gonna sound a little dumb here, but sorry. Um they it, I've only seen the first episode, but in the plot of the show, they want the studio to make a Kool-Aid Man a movie,
Hmm.
and they just announced that Bill Hader is writing or doing something for a movie. Did you see about that? No, he's doing something. It's something to do with Jonestown. And I'm not caught up on what that is, but they were like, "Oh, the Kool-Aid movie is being made." Now, there could be other connections.
Something to do with Jonestown.
I'm not sure. But the people on Twitter were like, "The Kool-Aid movie is finally getting made." And
Oh,
granted, I only
weird.
saw one episode of of the studio, so maybe there's more to the story. But um I just, like one day we will get the Kool-Aid movie. And what?
One day we will.
And then what? We don't need a Kool-Aid movie. We don't need a Kool-Aid Man movie.
Okay, I do think Jonestown and whatever this Kool-Aid movie is two different things.
Okay, but the people on Twitter were like, the Kool-Aid movie's finally getting made. So somebody DM me and
Oh, okay,
explain that to
wait.
me.
Well, this first sentence in this article is turns out Bill Hader has been drinking the Kool-Aid.
Okay, see, no, well, and the
Oh, you know what I think it is? I'm making stuff up, but Jonestown is where there was like a church cult. True crime, guys. True crime does come in handy. You see how it does teach me things. Where they were essentially holding people captive, right? And being like, oh, I'm gonna butcher this story so bad. But at some point, the leader could tell that people wanted to leave. And so he was like, okay, he gathered everybody in the church and he's like, okay, besties. I think the cops were outside for some reason. They were gonna get raided because he was like fucking the younger girls or whatever. Like the cops were outside. He has everyone in the church and he's like, all right, well, the world's gonna end, obviously. So, the true believers, I hope you guys are with me.
mm,
Let's cheers. And I think he gave everyone Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. Oh, interesting.
And then they all died.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
got there eventually.
We sure did. Do you think you could ever join a cult?
I like to say no, but I feel like I would. I don't know. What are they offering?
Yeah, right.
What's the deal? Like, when are my days to fuck them? You know what I mean? Like, man, I don't know. Like, let's talk about it. Give me
Yeah.
some info and like, how good's the food?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
beds comfy?
Who knows? Only one way to find out.
Well, if you are a cult and you're looking for a member, if you send me a nice little intro package, you never know.
You never
You
know.
never know. Are you kidding me, dude? They would not let me in a fucking cult. They'd be like, get this bitch out of here. She asks too many questions. She never wants to fuck them. Like, it's just.
Oh my God, what if the man on the street wanted me to join his cult? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you feel like you would ever join a cult?
No.
I don't know.
What? No, I don't. I wouldn't.
Uh,
I couldn't.
okay. Okay.
I don't think I physically could
Why?
because would be too aware of what's happening.
I know, but sometimes life is so
No.
crazy that you're like, all right, someone else can make the decisions for me. I'll just go
No,
around for the ride.
no.
Okay.
I'm too, no, it could never happen.
I say never say never.
Sure. Okay. Never say never. I agree. I will never say never. I'll take the
Look at
never
the state
back.
of yeah, let's see the state of our world. You know what I mean? Things
Sure.
could get real rough and a cult could be the perfect place to
You
go.
are 100% absolutely correct.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would do it. No.
Right.
Yeah.
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 I do think we ask too many questions for a cult.
I think so too. And I think
Yeah.
I'm too I like being alone.
There's that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just don't think I think if you're joining a cult, you're really kind of lost and you're looking for something.
I agree.
And
I agree.
I'm not looking for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No disrespect to the people who do join a cult. I mean,
Well, a little disrespect.
well, I mean, I'm trying to be nice, yeah.
You guys, it and think of the people that join a cult and give money to the cult. You're
Well,
not just
okay. Why do you think I don't go to the Catholic Church? They pass
call them
around the
out,
collection.
call them out. Oh,
Yeah.
not on the week that the Pope died. That's crazy
Oh, oops.
work.
Oh, oh, no.
Oh
Oh no, he's not even
no.
buried yet. Oh
He's
my
not.
God. Lord. Ah, not me using his name in vain. Oh my God. Oh no. Oops. Oh my God. Oh, I have to stop. Oh my gosh.
That is crazy work.
You know the Catholic church that we grew up going to,
Mm,
um, for a very, very long time was talking about building a new church
mm.
on the same piece of land. And they finally did, by the way,
Okay.
years and years and years after.
Wow.
And every Sunday collection goes around twice. They went around twice.
Yeah.
And I vaguely remember my parents being like, come on, give me some of your money. And I was like, absolutely not.
Whose money? Not mine.
Absolutely not. No way.
Yeah.
No way. No way. And then my parents were talking about how they had gone to church and they were talking about how the that the priest was talking about that, oh, they'll only do the collection plate once
Mm.
because they still have money left over from building the church. And I'm like, you're sitting on money. And what are you doing with it? You already built the church. Get the
Yeah.
people off the street. I don't
There
know.
it is.
I don't know. There's some kind of weird Ponzi scheme going on over there. Let me tell you.
Crazy. Crazy work.
Anyways, RIP to the Pope.
R.I.P. to the
Ooh, I know all of those men are fucking each other in that
Oh
concert.
my God,
Wait, I'm
Adrian.
so sorry. No, is that not appropriate? I haven't seen the movie. You know what? That was rude. Okay. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. We're gonna move
Okay.
on.
Moving
Okay.
on.
Well, that's actually going to do it for the pop culture pop up. We'll be back next week with more pop culture. Chisme. Julie, do you have a Latinx spotlight for us?
I
Is it the
do have
Pope?
a I do have a Latinx spotlight. We're gonna do things a little bit different today. Okay. I want to talk about a particular subject that I have heavy in my heart. This Latinx spotlight, I want to take the moment to discuss a very important thing that I keep seeing happen. And it keeps happening around the same time. And it's always when a movie led by Black people or Asian people or other ethnicities that are not Latinos is making history, is making money, is being talked about. Here we come in all of our grandeur and start saying things like, what about us? Where's our movie? Why did Ryan Coogler not include Latinos in his movie? Okay, Black Panther is great, but where's our superhero movie? Gina Rodriguez, you think I forgot? I don't understand why it is necessary to insert ourselves into conversations that have nothing to do with us. And the reason why there is a Sinners, the reason why there is a Black Panther is because Black creators are bringing these stories to life and Black audiences are going to these movies. The difference being Blue Beetle exists. I went to go see it in theaters. I saw not a one other Latino in that theater, not a one other one. And the theater was close to empty. We do not show up for our shit. We don't. We don't. And I don't know what it is. Actually, I have a theory of what it is. I think that it's demanding specific representation. We don't just want to see the general Latino audience doesn't just want to see Latinos on screen. They want to see their specific version of a Latino. And we are not a monolith. There are so many versions of us. And when we see a George Lopez, a Melissa Barrera, we want them to represent exactly who we think we are. And my Mexican ass is not going to be like your Mexican ass. It's not going to be like his Salvadorian ass. It's not going to be like his Guatemalan ass. You know what I mean? Like, and we watch these things and we want it to look exactly like every single one of us. And we play into this idea that we are all the same. And we're not. We are different. Our entire existences are different. And I think that it is a shame that we continue to do this. I saw a TikTok of a film critic, I want to say, who is Latino, that was criticizing the fact that Ryan Coogler didn't have Latinos um, in Sinners and how he didn't give any praise to From Dusk Till Dawn because obviously it was a inspired by that movie. However, he was absolutely wrong because Ryan Coogler in an interview did give credit to From Dusk Till Dawn. And also, why? Why must we insert ourselves into stories that have nothing to do with us? And I don't get it. I don't get this idea, but I sit there and I watch One Day at a Time, and I sit there and I watch Primo, and I sit there and I watch all of these shows get canceled. Shows that I love, shows that I show up for, get canceled because nobody else is showing up for them. Nobody else talks about Gordita Chronicles and raves about it so much that word of mouth pushes people to watch it. If we won't watch our own shit, why do we expect other people to watch it? I don't get it. And I think it's unfortunate. I think it makes us look bad and it makes our culture look racist. Like we can't let other cultures and minorities thrive because we must insert ourselves into conversations consistently. I find that so embarrassing. I saw that man's video and I was like, shut the fuck up. One, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Two, it had nothing to do with us. I get it that Latinidad is embedded in so much of the world. But if a black man wants to make a movie about that is inspired by his uncle and is for his people, why must we insert ourselves? This is coming from a culture also that refuses to give proper acknowledgement to Afro-Latinidad. When you see an Afro-Latino on a screen in a movie, do we celebrate them the same way we would celebrate a George Lopez? We don't. Why? Because also racism is embedded in our culture. It is, whether you want to admit it or don't. But I think this entire conversation is disappointing. Um, and I want us to do better because it feels like every single time another community is thriving, here we fucking come. Here we come, annoying as fuck for no reason. That's it. Be better. Do better. Go watch something Latino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get off the phone and go watch it.
Go watch it.
I didn't see the video of this man, but
Oh, yeah.
when it comes across my TikTok, I will give it a
Yeah.
thumbs down.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Time for some azúcar. I'll go first. You know what? I did have an azúcar and then I forgot about what it was.
Oh, no.
But anyways, my azúcar this week is the speaking of Lord, she finally released her new song and I couldn't love
Mm.
it anymore. I really couldn't.
Okay.
I love it
Okay.
so much. It sounds like melodrama and honestly it sounds a little bit too much like melodrama, but I'm not mad about it because fantastic album. Um and did you see that she was performing at Washington Square Park and then they had to shut it down and then she still came out anyways?
Yeah, I did.
And then it just was so funny to me that all those people were there. I loved it so much.
It's so crazy.
Anyways, Ella Lord, she has released a new song. It's called What Was That? And I think it's perfect. I love it. There's a man that I thirst followed on Instagram and he said that it's the worst song he's ever heard. I swiftly unfollowed that man.
Oh my God.
Like, what?
Yeah. How dare he?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Anyways, Lord, come on the pod.
Come on the pod.
I have a lot of questions for you.
Yeah.
Top of the list, how did you get out of Taylor Swift's cult? That's the top of my list.
I love that.
Okay. Julie, do you have sukkah for us?
I do have an Asuka. No surprise to no one.
Sinners.
Sinners. Sinners. Oh my lordy. I saw it in IMAX. A huge screen. Obsessed. Ryan Coogler and the man that you are, your brain. I just want to kiss it. I want to kiss your brain because it's brilliant. And Michael B. Jordan, I didn't before, but I get it now. I
Mm.
get it. I get it. I get it. I never thought I would want a world where there was two of you, and here we are, wondering if you have a long lost twin somewhere because wow. Wow. Uh Phenomenal performance from Michael B. Jordan. I don't want to he's a very handsome man, I've discovered recently, but his performance, the character work, the fact that he was playing two different characters and he did it so flawlessly, and gave them things that made them so absolutely unique. Makes me want to throw up in my mouth because it's so gorgeous. Also, wasn't expecting it to be so horny. Zero nudity. Horned the fuck up. Some of the horniest shit I've ever seen.
I love being horny.
Uh, I fucking wanted to. I remembered that girl that went viral after Black Panther premiered because she broke her retainer because she clenched her jaw so hard when Michael B. Jordan came on screen.
That's funny.
And as I saw some of these scenes, that's all I could think about. No spoilers, but there is a scene. Go watch this movie. Don't be stupid. Don't wait for it to go on streaming, guys. Go give all your money to this film. It deserves every single dollar that it gets. Haley and one of the twins, Michael B. Jordan, they're getting dirty. They're getting nasty, right? And he says something like, I'm gonna paraphrase here. He says something like, "Oh, you're drooling," and then she says, "Oh, you want some?" And then spits in his mouth.
Uh-huh.
Wet.
Uh-huh.
I mean me.
Yeah.
I mean, not just a spit. I was wet
Yeah.
immediately.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to, don't let that take away from the fact that this film is extremely intelligent, right? Extremely intelligent. The history in this movie, the music in this movie. If you, for some reason, cannot get your butt to that theater, I beg you to listen to the soundtrack because it is phenomenal music. Brittany Howard worked on one of the songs on the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal work. Obsessed. I loved it. Go and watch Sinners. Go watch original movies. I feel like I get on here, I get on my soapbox, and none of you listen to me. None of you, ever. And my things get canceled, and my movies don't do well, and then we don't get any more of them. And I just want people to experience the joy that is Sinners. Is it scary? A little bit. Maybe 3 to 4 jump scares. The first one is the worst of them all, but not terrible. And I loved it. And Jack O'Connell, the man that you are, the man that you are. It's just, I want to go see it again this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lovely. Thank you so
so good.
much, Julie.
Thank you.
Okay. We've reached the end of the episode.
We done
Thank
did
you
it.
so much, everyone. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at Yumi and Chisme. Make sure you visit yumiandchisme.com. Make sure that you rate, review, subscribe, do all the fun things you could do with this podcast. We would appreciate a review, a rating wherever you listen. Thank you so much. And most importantly, share this podcast with someone because sharing ultimately is caring. And what do we need more in the world of? Caring. We need care. Care. Care, care,
Mhm.
care. And yeah, if you do all that, we'll be back next week with more Chisme. But until then, make sure you have lots of love, lots of peace, and most importantly, lots of Chisme in your life. Bye.
Bye.